Hi everybody, Jerome Wright here again in this video, and in this video here, I'm gonna be decoding several masterpieces of that of Pablo Picasso. Okay, I did a video before on him before, but I don't believe that in my mind that I convincingly showed you that he is also an artist that has adopted encryptions in his painting that actually references how mankind was created, um, genetically altered and genetically manipulated to get other likenesses of mankind from that of our ape ancestor and African ancestors. Okay, I'm just going to point out some things to you, and I think I have maybe two or three of his masterpieces here, and I want to show you how these artists actually enjoy this higher knowledge, and as to who we are, referencing therein of who we are, and they take it and give it back to us in the form of either artwork, um, products, um, religion, um, just pretty much everything. Oh, and movies. I mean, these people knowledge. This knowledge is mind-boggling. Um, it's it's something that the most of us do not know, and in not knowing, it gives those that do know a higher level of enjoyment of wealth, not just wealth, knowledge, um, and this overwhelming power, because they can cater to your misunderstanding. I would imagine, if that would be the best way of who you truly are, or your misconception of who you are. Okay, and they can dance around the block with you with this knowledge. Um, I'll leave that alone, because I mean it's just crazy the way these people are getting away with all of this. All right, but anyway, this is Pablo Picasso. I didn't even bother to get the name of it. I downloaded it and didn't even bother to look the name up of his artwork. His art is so crazy, and he has this style of almost like being that of a surreal artist, and that of he has his adopted encryptions of Renaissance artists. I mean, his artwork is just a combination of everybody's artwork, and that's why it just looks so bizarre. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna go through this one real quick here. This just just Google Pablo Picasso's artwork or masterpieces or whatever, and these artworks that I have come up will be the famous searches. I didn't even bother to title them. Okay, I just grabbed them and went from there. Um, Notice that this woman over here has that almost have like a monkey face. This is an indication that our ape ancestor, our black ancestor, from that likeness, they were bridged over, came over to this likeness, which seemingly seems almost like Chinese, Asian, okay, Egyptian, well, Asian, then comes over to this likeness, which almost seems like Asian, okay, and then from here, you see our white counterparts start to come into play, and their faces become normal, and then finally here, look how the faces are all discombobulated. What Picasso is stating here, what I've just explained to you. Here saying that these likenesses are not so perfect. Then they started becoming perfect when they became here and here. So our black ancestor, our ape ancestor, monkey-like faces, our Asian ancestors, and Egyptian. Notice how they look. Not, I mean, less than perfect according to the way Picasso has drawn them. And then when it came to fair skin and Caucasian counterparts, their faces became okay. Now I see other things in here. I know that there's a symbol there of penises. Okay, I do know that. Um, Also, I do know that there is a symbolization of other people that we can't even see bent over from here being bridged back over. That's why the arms are in the shapes that it tells you how many times they were bridged over. That's why the arms are bent in the way that you see. Okay, I know what this symbolization here means. I know what this symbolization here means. The one arm bent over, the two arms bent over. Okay, I know what all of that means. All right. There's symbolizations of penises and everything else. Even the way the body is wrapped with this sheeting with this linen, and piece of the leg is out, almost insinuating that this is a penis down here. The bottom part of the leg that comes back up. No one kneecap looks like that. If you look, creates the head of a penis there. A kneecap doesn't look like that. And I mean the leg is. You can see that the leg is completely disconfigured in a way that it does not even look like it attaches. It's a woman's leg. You know what I mean? It gives the rise of being a penis. Same thing for over here as well too. You know what I mean? Notice that these legs, these bridging back over, it shows you that there was a genetic bridging that began here. And it shows you the likeness of the faces that were the result of it. There's also symbols down here that's on a rock that I'm not going to get into. And all you have to do is look at his work for what it is, and it's pretty much a genetic blueprint or genetic grail to how mankind's bloodlines originated and genes and likenesses originated and how they were bridged over and manipulated. And he's clearly stating that there with these 5 women from their monkey state all throughout Asia and the other continents, showing you that the likenesses to where they finally came, and there's the resulting likeness as a result of these bridgings. And that's what it's stating. Okay? And then it's being bridged back over again. The damning part about all of this is that our original genes from where they originated are being destroyed. Because they're being recycled and ran back into where they're being flushed out. So they're being destroyed. Alright? Death and resurrection. I actually just that's what this is all about. Now, I'm gonna bring up another one of Picasso's masterpieces. And I guess this will be the earlier version. I'm gonna take this one down. And I'm gonna bring this one up. See if I can bring that in and zoom. And stop it right there. Now, this man makes some bizarre paintings. He kind of reminds me of that of Salvador Dali, who he's affiliated with, well, was affiliated with, by the way. And Salvador Dali is a surrealist artist, and he's a damn nut. You know what I mean? And I mean, in all sense of the word. Yeah. Now, people, you have a horse, skin pulled and stretched over. There's a human-like figure laying there with a stick in his hand, body stretched out. You have the cow bridged over with stuff squirting out of his butt, or butt parts back there. Then you have a woman with her head tilted back, her mouth open. Now check this out. I'm going to explain this to you. Has her baby there, and her titty hanging out, and she's laying there. Now, first of all, let me show you what you don't see. Whenever you see that there's a rock in the back, it represents the founding stone of our originating genetics, or a building, or whatever. It represents the founding stones. And then in the darkened areas, you will see an image of an ape, like I can see an image of an ape back there. And there's another creature back there that symbolizes, in this painting, the likeness of the head of the whale. All right. Now here, this is telling us quite clear and simple. Man, look, the man laying there, the horse outstretched legs over them. The horse is stating that it was bridged over mankind. These genes went in both ways, one direction here, and then the other direction here to the stick, which represents that of our ancient genetics, sent back out. So these genes and these genetics bridge back into this creature here, which is the bull. And the bull is showing you that it's shooting bullets out of its ass parts. And this woman has her mouth open to receive them. And now she's bridging those genetics that she received from this whole cauldron-like cocktail of these genetics. And she bridged herself over her baby, signifying her titty is out. What's so hard to understand about that? Look at this, people. Bullets shooting out of the butt, genetic bullets. She's catching them in her mouth after they were just this here, or this whole cauldron-like cocktail, this witch's brew of genes bridged over a sequence, genetic bridging sequence rather. And now the new gene is created, bridged through, a breakdown in genes, and this woman is receiving them, and a new genetic line is being created. And then it shows you that, look, it's brought back. There's another bridge. What is so hard to understand about that? Now, what I love about these artists is Picasso, just like Rembrandt, just like Da Vinci, just like Dali, what they do is when they think that they have this wonderful piece of art that says this wonderful piece of message, they usually take the same painting, and you can find it twice stating the same thing, and they add a little bit more to it, or they take some out, and they actually tell on themselves in what they are doing. So all of the things that I just said, now that has a less amount. So this tells me that I'm thinking that Picasso made this painting before he made a similar painting, or a painting of it, and it shows more but actually less. But check this out. Here's the same identical painting right here as this. Do I have to back it off? Perhaps I have to back it off. Yeah, there you go. Here's the same exact message being stated. Look at these open. Where is that woman? Oh, in this painting, that woman is over here in this corner over here. And but it's the painting. Here she goes right there. Look at the woman in the same scenario, but this time at the bull's mouth, showing you a genetic exchange. Her mouth open, her breast out, her baby is there, showing you that there was a genetic bridging over. Amazing, huh? But let me show you how this painting starts out. And this is all Picasso, people. There's a building-like structure right here. I think either this is Massacre in Korea or Guernica, or whatever that says. I don't know what this is. What the name of this painting is. But if it's saying Massacre in Korea, it's I would actually state that if this is what this painting truly is, then what the message is behind this is that this is indicating how Korea was genetically attacked and bridged over. That's what this painting is actually suggesting. And I will actually look at other paintings to actually verify myself, because I don't need nobody to verify me, because I am self-verifying. If one artist is stating this, then that means that many are stating, and their messages are all the same, just in different forms and encryptions. However, they're still all the same because these encryption style peoples originate from one origin. And I know what that one origin is, so that means that each and every one of these artists that call themselves describing in any kind of bizarre way who we are or where we came from or genetically came from, I can take their artwork and take it apart as if I created it, as I'm doing here with Picasso. This man here, emerging, hands up in the air, head tilted back. If you were to look at this head, the head is tilted back in a way that if the mouth is up, the mouth is also an eye, and this would be the chin. It would create the head of an ape. It depends on how you look at it. This is the way Picasso made this painting. The head is up and tilted back in that odd form because it actually creates, that would be the small forehead of the monkey, the eye of the monkey, and all of this down here would be down here the monkey's mouth, the upper lip and chin area. If you put a line across there, that's what this is all about. That's why you see that head tilted all the way back the way it is. It's man and ape likenesses together in one. That's why the head is tilted back. Now, showing you that these likenesses were genetically bridged over. What were they bridged over? You see, there's a tail of a dinosaur. It represents our reptilian ancestor. Even up here, you see the scales of the fins, those fins of the dinosaur. That's what this is representing. Showing you these genes. Look, there's a diamond right there, piercing almost of that dinosaur, piercing the leg here. Showing you these genetics escaping out, going in transition. Look, at 2 points, one here and one there. At at the lower level, at 2 levels, this level and up at this level here, the dinosaur, towards the head, towards the tail. That's what this is all about. These genetics are going out. Check this out. I know exactly what this is here, but I'm not going to state. I'm going to leave that alone for now. But check this out. Shows you these genetics, what's happening here. This person here is with this knife. This here is the same symbolization that Leonardo da Vinci uses in the Last Supper with these knives, and they also show it in the Peruvian burial stones with these knives, with these people shown with axes and knives. This people is an indication where you see these knives and these blades. This is an indication that there is a genetic splicing. And that's why you see this, everything being hacked up. You see these human parts hacked up, and there is a horse. You see hacked up. You know what that's shown? Different levels of genetic splicing. That's what that is stating. They are slicing genetics, taking parts, certain parts of these genetics, and continuing on with them, and leaving others behind. That's what this is about. Splicing of genetics. And splicing of genetic, almost like splicing electrical wires and tying them into something. I mean, tying them. This is what this is implying. They are splicing genetics from animals, from mankind, and creating new genes to continue on with. Now let me bring over you here to you the rest of that picture. Now you see that horse again there, right? You see all this genetic splicing going on here. See this painting here, people? Look at this. Now you come over to this guy, because a lot of these artists do the same thing. Now a lot of these paintings don't make no damn sense until you hear what is going on. Picasso's artwork, people, this is why it's worth so much money to certain people. You know why? Because they pay that kind of money because they know what Picasso is saying. So I don't know what this painting would go for, but a person would pay $3 or $4 million, maybe $10 million for this painting. You know why, people? Because of everything that I just told you and the understanding therefrom. I mean, this is what this is about. It tells and describes who they are. So they pay the top dollar for these paintings because they know what they can read these paintings. A person that don't understand this artwork would not pay this money for Picasso's art. The people that are buying these paintings are in relation to these paintings, who collect these arts. Alright, having said that, those genetics that were created here in a cauldron cocktail-like way. They're here. Look at this person's arm stretched out. Abnormal looking arm. Look at this arm. Looks decent. The one that genetically spliced with. Look. The one that actually shown with the knife and spliced. That looks somewhat normal by Picasso. Shows that it was cross-referenced, and now we're over here. There's even like a cross in there too. But shows now that we're over here. These genetics over here, and he has a pentagon in his outstretched arm, and it shows you his hand looks at the figure, and there's a pentagon there, showing you that there's these genetics that were created, and now all of these different cauldron-like creations are within this being genetically. Now, the bridging over part again. Here's that bull again, with his mouth open. Now check this out. Now there's almost two bodies of this bull, it seems like, because it seems like the bull, look, check this out, the bull was bridged over. So the black part of the bull is genetically still, while it's showing you a white part of the bull coming out. I know what this means, but I'll leave that just alone for now. Alright? Shows you that this bull is giving its genetics to this woman. Her mouth is open, her mouth to the bull's mouth. Just as indication that genetics are being exchanged. Her breast is out, people. Now this is very disturbing. Her breast is out, and she done gave these genetics to her baby. Now, what's disturbing about this is because every ancient Renaissance artist is stating the same thing in their artworks in the Flight to Egypt. With either the Virgin or whoever that character is, the saint, whoever is on that donkey or on that horse, she is always shown with her breast in that baby's mouth, and on the donkey, which is symbolizing the same exact thing. I can do this with that. With all of these paintings where there is a baby at the breast of the person that's being described, I don't care if it's a saint, I don't care if it's a miracle baby, I don't care what it is, where this symbolization is shown is saying the same exact thing. That the person that has their breast out was genetically bridged, and as a result, the baby is receiving those genetics. I don't care who the artist is, what is being symbolized in. I don't care if it's in your Bible. I don't care if it's in any ancient text. I don't care if it's in any ancient painting. The same symbolization is being made. It's all describing how we got these new genetics, which ultimately arise from that of being black to that of being white. And that's what this is about. These genetic bridges. And Picasso is saying the same thing here. Now, here's a close-up of that, so you, in the event that you want to see what that looks like close up. People, why would this man be making such a painting other than that of what I've just described to you? There is no logical explanation other than that of what I just now described to you about what this man is stating in his paintings. Picasso, just like many other artists, devoted their life to this. Look at the ass of this bull. Parts of this body of the bull is black, but shows this white part coming out. It's showing you that there is these genetic bridgings, just like I told you in the first image, where the bull taken in these genetics, bridged over. Now that these genetics are broken down, this is the part that's coming out and given to her. And this is all a contributing factor of how we got from these colors to these colors. Because there was a breakdown in the genes, in mankind's genes. Yeah. That's what this is all about. And this is how we describe where all of these likenesses came from. It shows it where you see these animals in these pictures. Lions, bulls, sheep with Jesus, and these are all indications of creatures that was genetically bridged over mankind through certain points of the time. And the reason why this was all done is because our ape our monkey ancestor, ape, and African ancestor, those genes were the most difficult genes in all mankind's history to overcome. And through a sophisticated and a systematic way of breaking these genes down, animals were used. And this is why we have these different likenesses of mankind that physically, even physically, resemble that of the creatures that are in our habitat, our wild habitat. The eyes, the hair, and it shows us. This is why there's parts of our mankind that has these horns, because we were bridged over deer-like creatures, gazelle. You know what I mean? This is why there's skulls that can be found across our globe. Now I have my drawings on this too, by the way, people. I put my drawings on here, but that's why there's skulls that has horns. This skull here was actually found in Pennsylvania, and back in the early 1900s by some clergy, and there was other skulls that accompanied it. They sent it to this ranky-dink museum there in that area, and all of the skulls supposedly was stolen. Of course, we know how that story was, because that our history has been stolen anyway. So it doesn't surprise me that this was stolen as well too. So, all right. So, and along with other artifacts that was found with this by these clergymen. You know what I mean? But these are my drawings, by the way, people. You know that I see things that other people can't see. And just in case you don't know what this is, I draw a witch-like woman over here on the side of the skull. A morphine gene here. Then there's the serpent there, and I put the egg in the mouth there. Another, this is my reptilian ape. Okay, this is a shark if you turn this sideways, and it also has an egg in its mouth. And at its tail, it has the ape here figure right there, people. And there's this gene coming off here, and then I have a man bending over that gene, taking a part out. You know what? And oh, at the other end of the shark's tail, people, this is a snake right there. And all of this, people, is what I can see through my true paranormal experience and encounter. You know why? Because I am a part of all of this. So wherever this is, I don't care where it's at, whether it's something ancient being symbolized or anything, I can see and feel what it is. Okay? Now, if you Google horn skulls, this image will come up, not with all of my drawings on it, of course, but it would be like almost like a. Well, it reminds me of the thorns that Jesus wears around his head, and this guy has like almost like a Jewish cap on there. But all of this stuff here that I can see, that's in the stuff that's tied around the skull that was actually found. Okay, so if you Google that, that's what'll come up. But describing that, people, if these people, like I'm telling you, were taking in these genes from these animals, which had horns, and it wasn't just a bull, you know what I mean? There was the ram, it was a bunch of other creatures that you can imagine that had horns, and this is what happened when these genetic bridgings occurred, and this is why you have your demonic-like creatures with horns that appeared in our ancient history, because they were genetic beings. Genetic bridging. And then to cover it up, your religious sects, what they ended up taking and doing, because they knew exactly what had happened after they rebridged those horns back out. These demons, what they called them, now they got you leaving back in history, a trail in history that these were demons, and they were cast out of your body. Yeah, they were cast out of your body, just like the other implications of demons, because if you look at your ancient text very well, that all of your earlier ancient images of these demonic beings were that of black people, or in likenesses of that of monkey. And the reason for that of being is because they were our demons, that they were being cast out of our body. They were genetic implications of genes that were bridged over to arrive at the point that they currently were at, and they had passed, and the other genes that they had been cast out. That's all that was implicating. So they cast these demons out, so they said, so they can get these perfect likenesses, because the other likenesses that were before them were not good enough for them, genetically or physically, in the physical sense or in the genetic sense. Okay, so that's where we at with that. Now here's another painting. I'm going to keep going because Picasso has a few here. This is about Picasso. Here's another one. Again, there's the bull. And there is also a horse there, which you can't actually see, which is in the form of a donkey. The bull, if you see, is a bunch of mutations of other creatures. And if you look past, you'll see these creatures, hands reaching out of the bull, grabbing his hair. You see the bull's legs stretched out. Let me show you the. If you look right here, because you can Google Picasso's work, there's an ear right there. Can I get that better? There's an ear, and then there's the snout of that of a horse or donkey, whatever you want to call it. And then there's other creatures there, the ape, all of that stuff up in there, showing you that the bull is carrying all of these genetics. So now the bull is showing you that it's reaching past. Now check this out. This guy is implicating. Look, he got his sword, which symbolizes his splicing. The bull is showing you that all of these genetics that he was bridged over with, he pushed them off to this guy. There's a serpent. The bull's hoof, look, the snake, represents the serpent. Placed into this guy. This guy spliced them. The rest of these genetics that were bridged over, look, has the shield, were stopped. I'm going to tell you something else that you can see this in. It reminds me of the collaboration of the music with Rihanna and Drake. And I forget the name of the song, but in that you will see where Drake is standing there just like this guy is, and the bull comes at him, and the bull hits him, and it becomes disintegrated. Then they have these black doves and black birds and all of that same way, and shows Drake's body going up. Well, I have linked music videos, music artists to this same exact message, which has transgressed from art, this form of art, into our music industry, into our TV industry, movie industry, and there's several artists that I can tie to the same exact thing. If you see my videos here, I've tied Nicki Minaj to it. Her art, her artwork, album art, cover art, which was created by Deluxe Album Artists, has encryptions in there. You can see my video on that here as well too. And there are many other artists. If you look at their works and all, it's not just right now. I'm naming just off like black artists, but again, Bruno Mars, and a lot of other artworks that I've looked at. I don't know if it was Aerosmith or a couple other album covers that I looked at that has the same indications. And this is why these people are very successful in their music career. You know why? Because the implications that they are making are the cult-like, demonic-like suggestions. That is something that is very ancient. It's like you have to be a part of this to be successful. And give me any artist, I don't care who it is, that is very famous. This stuff is part of the reason and cause for their success. I can read through their music that they're singing to you, because they're showing you the reason why they're telemarketing, and they're marketing themselves this stuff here. And the money and the backing behind them is so powerful, because the message that's being stated here, this is something that they want to instill in your mind, this image. And then there's more to this that I can go on about, but I don't want to sidestep and go songing and dancing, okay? But look at this. The image of the snake, the serpent. This part coming off, being genetically spliced. No different than what's on the Peruvian burial stones, where you see these guys on the backs of these dinosaurs with their axes up to the dinosaur's mouth, up to the serpent's mouth, showing you that there's a genetic splicing where there was a bridging of an animal. Shows you all of these genetics that were put into the animal. You look into the body, you'll see the genetics that were put into the animal. And now there's a part of it taken out, and the rest of it's being stopped, which is being indicated by this shield. Almost like wearing, look, the Trojan, almost like wearing a condom. Okay, a certain part of these genetics are allowed to pass through, the rest remain stilled. Shows you two paths that these genetics takes. There's a grieving widow there saying goodbye to one part of the genetics and hello to another. The other part is shown that was allowed to come in through. And these genetics are taken in all directions. And then you always see something about a reference about children being made, because it's showing you now that there's new genetics that's being created, and these new miracle babies carrying these new forms of genetics are now being sent out. And it's a cross contamination of one place, and then another place is where these new genetics are being released. Death and destruction. And that's what's being stated. And even Pablo Picasso, for someone other reason, he knows all of this. Okay? Just like many other artists. And what's amazing about this is that all you have to do with Pablo Picasso is find out who his mentor was, what were the schools that he went to, his art schools, and all of these people are guilty of all of the above. What was his religious affiliation? It goes on and on and on and on and on. And his earlier artwork would suggest more than his later artwork, because his earlier artwork, where until he honed his skills on making these encryptions in his paintings, would have revealed more. Now in the later artworks they reveal less, but still, nevertheless, all of these artworks can all still be read the same, because what it is doing is it is representing genetic bridging with mankind's genes with that of animals. It shows you the mutations in the body, and it shows you the new genes that are now being branched off, and it's showing you that in the form of a serpent that's going out to attack other genes. Thank you for that one. Now let's go down to another one of Picasso's paintings. Here's another famous painting of his, and I put my encryptions on. His encryptions are there, and I highlighted them for you. And this is a boy. This is one of the ones I want to name. This is a boy leading a horse. First of all, I have to back this up. Think of this for a minute. Here you have a nude boy leading a horse. Is this guy alright or what? Let me show you what's being said here. Now this is first of all, let's go down here to the boy's genital area. When you Google this image, his penis is not even right. That's one indication that something is terribly wrong here. His penis is in the shape of that of a face. And it's the face of that of a monkey, which you possibly cannot see, but I can see. Alright? And this is the reason why that looks all crazy down there in that area. Then off on his right leg there, you'll see that there's a face of a witch-like woman who I dub as the mother of creation. And she's shown sucking a piece of the monkey off the boy's penis, which would be the testicle right there, like the cheek. She's shown sucking that. Now, and I can see the monkey's eye there, and this would be the nose, and this would be the face, and all that. However, you want to go up, there's another impression of a face in the boy's belly. This one I draw it out for you, so you can see. Not all the way, just to give you the impression that the face is there, so you can follow up on this. There's a head. There's an eye, there's a nostril, and there's a mouth, or right over top of the boy's monkey area there. Off the boy's genital area that creates the monkey. And then it shows out of the head, look, snaking off of genes that comes off, and then there's another head right there. Now, if you turn the image up long ways, there's another head there, and then what it shows is these genes that was taken over here throughout the boy's arm, which is snaking off, just like what Picasso did here. The same thing is being said right there. What Picasso said here. You see them genes? That serpent there? The same implication is here. Look, on the end of the boy's hand, where his thumb is up, and his thumb, there is the face of a serpent. Can I bring that in closer? Let me let you see that. You see that? And then at the bottom, there's a witch-like woman who I dub as the mother of creation. Medusa, in this case. There's her eye, there's her nose, there's her left cheekbone, there's her left bottom jaw, comes around, there's her mouth there, and on top of her head she has a snake, and a boy's hand, the way he's holding his hand like that, creates all of that right there. So, what is the boy telling you? The boy is telling you the same thing that I just told you in all of the paintings that of Picasso's that were before. The boy is stating, and that's why he's there naked in this image, is that he was genetically bridged over the horse. Now, and the horse is telling you the same thing, that I was genetically bridged over the boy. Now, here, people, now that I've highlighted it for you, you see the horse's head here? There's another horse's head right there. Picasso has right there in the chest of the horse's own. The horse's that begins the face of another horse. There's the snout, mouth, another nostril, snout, and well, there's the snout, there's a nostril over there. There's the top lip area, and then there's the lip down there, and this is in the horse's chest. Now check this out. When you come to the mouth, there's a stream of genetics that branch off here to the that creates this woman's chin that I first showed you, the mother of creation, showing you the genetic link exchange between the boy and the horse. And this is what's being said. What I just described, the bridging over these two, is shown here in the horses. It's being shown in the horse's chest and upper front leg quarter area. Now look at this. On the top, almost look right where the boy's hand is here, there's a genetic exchange there at the horse's mouth. Then here, there's another stream of genetics shown going out to another creature, which shown its penis right here. There's a penis right there in the horse's throat area, and it shows these genetics streaming off. Now check this out, people. And this is a reptilian presence. There's a reptilian face right here. And look what it's shown doing. Its penis is shown going at this point to the horse, and then here its mouth is open at the ear of the horse, indicating this genetic exchange and bridging. Shows a reptilian presence in this bridging process that actually has been taking place. Now, check this out. All of these genetics, this creates the bridge, a genetic link. Shows you a direction of these genetics. Now, if you turn this sideways, there's a mouth there, there's an eye, and the nose is up in here in the boy's chest. Just like what's in the horse's chest there, the same thing is over here. It shows you these genetic bridgings. Now, I like this painting the best because this painting, for those of you that want to see truth in everything that I'm stating here, you can Google this painting by Picasso and see exactly what I am showing you here, because everything that I have is self-verifying. Everything that I just told you about this painting of Picasso, about this image from that painting, put this over here, and about this painting of Picasso. And do we have another one? How many did I do? Oh, and about this painting of Picasso. Is all verified right here. Because, excuse me, excuse me again. No, my throat is, excuse me. Everything here can be simply Googled. Now, I could have just went and just said and tried to say, like, there's an ape's face there. There's an ape, there's an eye, and there's a discombobulated face of an ape, which is in the mane of the horse, which is an early Renaissance artist encryption style, which began from the beginning. but you can barely see that. I can see it plain and clear. If I would have went there, you would have been like, yeah, well, you know what, that it kind of sort of looks like that. But no, it's not that. What it is symbolizing is that the identical face that is here is also right there. But it shows you a reptilian ape's face. And that's what's actually being shown. But you can see it right there too. There's an eye, there's a nostril, and then there's the mouth. It's hidden in the mane. And this is also in my video I made of Adam and Eve, and how they actually has this encryption style can be verified too by other artists' paintings. But this is automatic. The faint images in the boy's belly, his hand going out and coming back. He said, I was genetically bridged over this horse. Shows you these genetics, this genetic exchange and bridging. His hands here. These genetics are in me, he's stating. And he's showing now what's actually coming out of him. And that's why his hand is on his hip in the way it is. And that's why on the other part of it, well, and at this end of the hand, look, you can actually see the face of a monkey there in his gentle area. I can draw the face out so clear. A perfect face of a monkey I can draw out there, right there. And then the face on top, and this all here showing you a genetic bridging. And then down here, look in the leg, you'll see, you probably have to enlarge it, and you'll see this faint, transparent image of a woman sucking on his, should be his gentle area. She's sucking on like the cheek area of the monkey, but you'll see the exchange right there between his leg and there. And then what's more compelling, if you follow his arm out and you see this snake-like, this serpent-like creature on the top of his hand, you'll even see the different color right here that creates the serpent at his thumb area, and then see the woman, witch-like woman, of the top, which creates the Medusa-like face, and then where it becomes all verifying and self-explanatory is when you see, damn, I even see the lumps of the horse's snout right there. It's coming over top of each one right there. But when you see the head of a horse in itself right there, and even has its own mane that comes around from this image coming across the top there, and that creates the hair for this horse, his head right here, and it's showing you that this guy was these two beings were genetically bridged over. Now that, people, is priceless, because you can Google this image and say that Gerone is right. Picasso has these encryptions in his paintings that suggest how mankind was genetically bridged and genetically altered, and these different likenesses of mankind are the result thereof. I'm going to leave you with that. This is Pablo Picasso's artwork that I have decoded, and I can do this. Pablo Picasso has dedicated his life to this form of artwork because it suggests who we are. And just like Picasso and many other artists, they knew that their fame and fortune could only come by doing what is being shown here. Yep. And that's what this is all about. I almost want to draw that monkey's face out. I wonder if I can get that from being upside down here. Do I have a... I might mess that up. I don't want to mess that up. I don't want to mess that. I wonder if I can... Let me see if I can draw that ape's face out real quick for you. I'm drawing that ape's face out. See if you can see that real quick. I put that on there real quick to show you how these artists there you go. You see that? See that? I just do the lines on there right quick, and the horse's mane over there. And if you look at my other videos, specifically the one when I just did just a few weeks ago with the Garden of Eden, and you'll see the same exact encryption style right there. But that's where you can expect to see the let me give you some. And by the way, too, people, I'm not even supposed to be giving it both eyes, because one eye is in the spiritual world, and then the other eye is in this world. That's why also why you only see when I do these eyes, I only give one eye, because it's almost like taboo for the artist to give these beings two eyes. That's why even in the likenesses of Jesus and all of that, if you notice that one eye is disfigured, either closed, disfigured, or all the way closed out to where only one eye is being shown. That's another encryption style, because it's showing you that one eye is in the spiritual realm, and then one eye is in this world. It's only one eye. Look at that as well too. That's another encryption style I should bring up. Now, having said that, before I close this video out, Pegasus, these flying horses, these horses with wings, China's flaming horses. There's other horses there. I forget the names of them. Do I have any of them written down here? But these horses, people, I don't care from which continent they're being described, or where they're being, what's being said about them. The heavenly horse of China, of what is that, of Emperor Qin and all of that stuff there. All of those horses, those flying, flaming horses is, I don't care what the scenario is. Poseidon emerging from the water on his team of horses. I don't care what the scenario is. I know what is being symbolized by the horses being present. Okay, and I don't care if it's a horse pulling a chariot with God in it, or image of God, or image of Jesus. I don't care what it is. I'm telling you that it's all a symbolization of what is similarly being said here by Picasso. And I know what it means. So the mythical horse Pegasus, I forget China's heavenly horse, that white horse that is being flamed and shown flying off. Oh, you know what else I meant to show you? I meant to tell you too. All of these images are stating the same exact thing. And also, when you Google this image, it's cut off here. It's cut off. But you see the horn that's here on this band I have here? If you look at the horse's head, ear, the horse's ear is in the shape of a horn. That's what I meant to tell you. It is in the shape of a horn. It's not a horse's ear. It is a horn. So take a look at that as well too. Alright? When you Google that image of Pablo Picasso, of the boy Pablo Picasso's boy leading a horse. When you go to look for my encryptions that I made, and you're gonna verify this, which is all self-verifying. There's a horse head here showing you that this boy and this horse were genetically bridged over with semen and blood. Okay, when you look at that, look at the horse's ear, and you see that the horse has a horn instead of his own type of instead of his own symbolic suggestion of his horse's ear. There is a horn instead. Okay, just as I put a horn on this band as well. Alright. My name is Gerone Wright. You're watching my Geronification channel, and you can consider Pablo Picasso's art collection decoded by me, and thereby I can stake a claim in it because I know exactly what it means. And now, also with the horse, you want to look at it. I'm going to give you a little bit more where the horse's eye belong. If you notice that there's this mass of black stuff spewing from the horse's eye, like a trickling out. Well, what it is if you look at it, there's two mutations on this side of the face of the horse. Here's one, the horse's eyelid on top here is also the top lip and mouth. There's a nose. There's another head, and this will create in this little area here a little eye. There's one head there, a face, a mutated face, and then at the bottom, that mouth also becomes an eye with that stuff. The horse's eye becomes an eye of another face, and the chin and for that face is down here. There's a chin, there's a mouth, and comes around, and there's a head here, a head right there. On top, when on top is another head, and then you have the likeness of the horse. These mutated faces are the faces of our ancestors that were genetically bridged over our early ancestors with these animals, or genetically bridged over, and their faces symbolically appear in these encryption styles because they are mutated faces of our ancestors, and that's why they appear encrypted in so many morphing directions in these artists' artworks, underlining encryptions of these artists' artwork. My name is Gerone Wright, and this is Pablo Picasso's, or Pablo Picasso's, Boy Leading a Horse, and I have divulged here that Pablo Picasso is guilty of having a higher knowledge of how mankind was created, genetically bridged, and he shows it how this is done, and he has a holy genetic grail encrypted in his art that I can read. Thank you for watching my video, and if you want to help, forward this to a friend, post it somewhere else. I don't care, whatever you do. Link people back to my my Geronification channel. I'm also on alien UFOs. So, thank you. Are not so perfect. Then they started becoming perfect when they became here and here. So, our black ancestor, our ape ancestor, monkey-like faces, our Asian ancestors, and Egyptian, notice how they look. Less than perfect according to the way Picasso has drawn them. And then when it came to fair skin and Caucasian counterparts, their faces became okay. Now, I see other things in here. I know that there's a symbol there of penises. Okay, I do know that. Also, I do know that there is a symbolization of other people that we can't even see bent over from here being bridged back over. That's why the arms are in the shapes that it tells you how many times they were bridged over. That's why the arms are bent in the way that you see. Okay, I know what this symbolization here means. I know what this symbolization here means. The one arm bent over, the two arms bent over. Okay, I know what all of that means. All right. There's symbolizations of penises and everything else. Even the way the body is wrapped with this sheeting, with this linen, and piece of the leg is out, almost insinuating that this is a penis down here, the bottom part of the leg that comes back up. No one kneecap looks like that. If you look, creates the head of a penis there. A kneecap doesn't look like that. And I mean, the leg is, you can see that the leg is completely disconfigured in a way that it does not even look like it attaches. It's a woman's leg. You know what I mean? Hi everybody. Gerone right here again in this video, and in this video here, I'm gonna be decoding several masterpieces of that of Pablo Picasso. Okay, I did a video before on him before, but I don't believe that in my mind that I convincingly showed you that he is also an artist that has adopted encryptions in his painting that actually references how mankind was created, genetically altered and genetically manipulated to get other likenesses of mankind from that of our ape ancestor and African ancestors. Okay, I'm just going to point out some things to you, and I think I have maybe 2 or 3 of his masterpieces here, and I want to show you how these artists actually enjoy this higher knowledge, and as to who we are, referencing therein of who we are, and they take it and give it back to us in the form of either artwork, um, products, um, religion, um, just pretty much everything. Oh, and movies. I mean, these people knowledge. This knowledge is mind-boggling. Um, it's it's something that the most of us do not know, and in not knowing, it gives those that do know a higher level of enjoyment of wealth, not just wealth, knowledge, um, and this overwhelming power, because they can cater to your misunderstanding. I would imagine, if that would be the best way of who you truly are in all sense of the word. Yeah. Mm. Now, people, you have a horse, skin pulled and stretched over. There's a human-like figure laying there with a stick in his hand, body stretched out. You have the cow bridged over with stuff squirting out of his butt, or butt parts back there. Then you have a woman with her head tilted back, her mouth open. Now check this out. I'm going to explain this to you. Has her baby there, and her titty hanging out, and she's laying there. Now, first of all, let me show you what you don't see. Wherever you see that there's a rock in the back, it represents the founding stone of our originating genetics, or building, or whatever. It represents the founding stones. And then in the darkened areas, you will see an image of an ape, like I can see an image of an ape back there. And there's another creature back there that symbolizes, in this painting, the likeness of the head of the whale. All right. Now, here, this is telling us quite clear and simple. Man, look, the man laying there, the horse outstretched legs over there. The horse is stating that it was bridged over mankind. These genes went in both ways, one direction here, and then the other direction here to the stick, which represents that of our ancient genetics, sent back out, gives the rise of being a penis. Same thing for over here as well too. You know what I mean? Notice that these legs, these bridging back over, it shows you that there was a genetic bridging that began here. And it shows you the likeness of the faces that were the result of it. There's also symbols down here that's on a rock that I'm not going to get into. And all you have to do is look at his work for what it is. And it's pretty much a genetic blueprint or genetic grail to how mankind's bloodlines originated, and genes and likenesses originated, and how they were bridged over and manipulated. And he's clearly stating that there with these 5 women from their monkey state all throughout Asia and the other continents, showing you that the likenesses to where they finally came, and there's the resulting likeness as a result of these bridgings. And that's what it's stating. Okay? And then it's being bridged back over again. The damning part about all of this is that our original genes from where they originated are being destroyed, because they're being recycled and ran back into where they're being flushed out. So they're being destroyed. Alright? death and resurrection. I actually just that's what this is all about. Now I'm gonna bring up another one of Picasso's masterpieces, and I guess this will be the earlier version. I'm gonna take this one down, and I'm gonna bring this one up. See if I can bring that in and zoom, and stop it right there. Now, this man makes some bizarre paintings. He kind of reminds me of that of Salvador Dali, who he's affiliated with, well, was affiliated with, by the way. And Salvador Dali is a surrealist artist, and he's a damn nut. You know what I mean? And I mean, or your your misconception of who you are, okay? And they can dance around the block with you with this knowledge. Um, I'll leave that alone, because I mean it's just crazy the way these people are getting away with all of this. All right, but anyway, this is Pablo Picasso. I didn't even bother to get the name of it. I downloaded it and didn't even bother to look the name up of his artwork. His art is so crazy, and he has this style of almost like being that of a surreal artist, and that of he has his adopted encryptions of Renaissance artists. I mean, his artwork is just a combination of everybody's artwork, and that's why it just looks so bizarre. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna go through this one real quick here. Just Google Pablo Picasso's artwork or masterpieces or whatever, and these artworks that I have come up will be the famous searches. I didn't even bother to title them. Okay, I just grabbed them and went from there. Notice that this woman over here has that almost have like a monkey face. This is an indication that our ape ancestor, our black ancestor, from that likeness, they were bridged over, came over to this likeness, which seemingly seems almost like Chinese, Asian, okay, Egyptian, well, Asian, then comes over to this likeness, which almost seems like Asian, okay, and then from here, you see our white counterparts start to come into play, and their faces become normal. And then finally here, look at how the faces are all discombobulated. What Picasso is stating here, what I've just explained to you. Here, saying that these likenesses